Hey, welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff. Today we are going to be talking about XRP XLM, all the money. We want to also touch on the fact that there's talk of regulation out there, and there's some regulation out there that is extremely limiting to retail access to cryptocurrency and is a squeeze on innovation. And we're actually seeing that come from other countries as well, not just in the US. However, with all of that going on, we continue to see this market, the crypto market, this new asset class is continuing to move forward, continuing to grow. We're seeing a lot of moves out of XLM. Obviously, we know what's going on with the SEC case against Ripple, that potential impact on XRP. But as we've covered, that hasn't even slowed them down because we've seen Ripple establish partnership after partnership. Lots going on in the space at large. And we all have to know every little detail, every single minute of the day. So with all that, wish everybody a great morning. And we are getting ready to kick this thing off the right way. So let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
First thing you need to do in the morning, make sure you grab your favorite espresso, your favorite coffee, whatever that might be, because as we get through this, we got to make sure that we're digesting everything that we're getting ready to talk about here. So XLM, XRP, and all that other good stuff. We're also going to dig into and review some of the comments, some of the feedback from the show Thursday night. I thought there were some very, very poignant comments that I've got up over here on this monitor that are really on topic for what we are talking about today. And if you can do me a favor, also, it looks like the notifications did not go out for some reason. So the powers that be over at YouTube, the new notification went out, but the early notification didn't go out. So if you guys want to help out, just throw out a quick tweet this out that we are live and raring to go here. So I see Ozkin, he made it in. So now that he's here, we can get started. So let's see what we've got. What does that say? XRP, when are you going to unlock my power, sir? All right. XRP Verino's here with us, so he's ready to go. He's got it. He's got the coffee. XRP and XLM. This is a very, very important and poignant conversation that we're going to have. So I want to move over to some of the, like I said, some of the comments that we had from the video the other night. Let me see if we can pull them up here. Let's see. Here we go. So we've got some interesting commentary here. So we're going to get into Edward S. Revere, and we're going to read through this one. We're going to, digest some of the things that he's talking about in reference to XRP and XLM, really moving all of the money, everything, right? So let's take a look. Before we get into that, actually, I do want to give a quick shout out. So I want to give a quick shout out to permission.io. Permission.io. They are it's interesting. So if you've ever kind of been out there browsing the internet, which I'm sure you guys do, you'll run into all these different ads. And the ads could be on Facebook, they can be on Google. And the one thing that we know is that all of these platforms are constantly collecting all of your personal data. They're making billions of dollars from it. You're making zero. So permission.io actually enables you to monetize your data and then earn crypto by monetizing your data. You're going to earn crypto. How great is that? So you sign up, puts a little extension at the top of your browser, log into that, keep browsing the internet. Every time there might be a relevant ad that pops up, Permission will say, hey, by the way, there's this relevant ad. Do you want to engage with it? You say, yes, I want to watch it. So once you watch it, it's great. You opt in, you're watching this short video, and then you earn Ask Token. That's great just from watching a video. Just like, normally you're engaging with these ads because they're all over the place and you get zero out of it. Here, permission.io is actually allowing you to earn the Ask token. It goes into your browser wallet. You can hold it, you can hodl it, you can trade it, you can spend it, you do whatever you want with it. And actually, Bitrue does have the Ask token on the Bitrue exchange. You can use it through your MetaMask and all that great stuff. So with that, let us move on. Let's move on here. So let's move on to what Edward had to say about XLM and XRP, because good possibility that many of you guys are going to agree with what Edward says here. Let's see. Let's find out. So he says, XLM is going to be the primary cash currency, while XRP is going to be the derivatives token. So interesting place to start out, right? So one of the things that we've talked a lot about over the time that we've done this YouTube podcast, when it's in reference to XLM and reference to XRP, is that the XRP ledger has all this technology built into it that is really there to be leveraged by banks and financial institutions, big entities. Whereas the divergence of opinion between the XRP and the XLM Foundation was that the idea of focused on big institution didn't jive completely with the ideas that the new burgeoning XLM Foundation had. So there was a divergence, a split. And then you have this new XLM Foundation that was focused on retail. So here they are building up the retail space, an emphasis on the individual, whereas XRP had an emphasis, or Ripple also, building out RippleNet, its emphasis is on institutions, on banks. Two technologies. Now, the one thing that we look at as you look at in the crypto space, you have all these platforms, all of these protocols, and there's no one size fits all. So if there's no one size fits all, then that means that each platform, each cryptocurrency, each protocol is really built to be applied to a specific category. So again, XRP for the big institution, XLM for retail. So let's go on here. So it says here, XRP is structured in a way to where banks can issue accounts under them. And then they go to those accounts when it comes to dealing with whatever type of need they have. XLM is not quite the opposite. But if I issue the token on XLM, I don't need to have special account permissions to have you buy or sell that token. I don't know if that's the case with XRP either. It says I can issue you a token and you just give that token to anybody. Well, yes, I believe that that's the case really with both XRP and XLM. However, the big emphasis here is on the intention of the platform. So from XRP's perspective, the XRP ledger and what we were just talking about in reference to what Ripple is doing in RippleNet, orchestrating a solution for banks for moving money on a massive scale. So, and then obviously XLM. So that's it. So let's move on. Let's go to the next comment here. There was another good comment that I want to bring up. Let's see here. I've got it zoomed in so far. I can't really go through all the comments. So here we go. Let me go back up. All right. So here's another one. This had to do with, here we go. I like this. So Phoenix 773 said, I'm really thinking I'm going to hodl till all the bugs are worked out and see what's real. Sure, I'll miss out on the beginning, but I won't live in fear of a pull. I can find trust in innovation, but not the entities that aspire for control of it. This is all like a giant PC game of civilization. So I'm looking at that. I'm like, man, he's pretty much spot on. Really, really spot on. So, all right, here's another one from 3 a.m. He said, guys, why would anybody Kraken or any thinking person allow that there are a drop of that songbird? They literally told everyone they'll be probing the systems. system. They're probing of the exchanges that are crazy enough to airdrop Songbird, more aptly, the canary in the coal mine. This is going back to the reference of a video from a couple nights ago on Tuesday when we were talking about Songbird. But here we go. So this is Jeremy Stewart. XRP working with MoneyGram was a test for the Stellar acquisition. So, and I love the commentary. I love the comments that we see after the fact, just as we got, super intelligent commentary that's always going on as we're in progress of the video. And then you've got the after, the crowd that's watching the video after the fact and putting in, some great commentary over there as well. So it's always good to shout them out and say, hey, we're reading these, and it's great that you guys have some feedback. So let's see here. Great, awesome. Oh, there you go. In Dubai, Stuart Taylor is having a beer at the Irish Village over in Dubai, I assume. That's awesome. So doing really well. Yeah, that's great. In the Irish Village, it's right near the tennis courts, I believe, over there. So, all right, what else we got here? All right, we have One Rough Rican. Appreciate the support. Both XLM and XRP have the same technology. It makes sense for both to be used by banks and retail, especially settlement speed owns both. Yeah, when we're looking at the platform, looking at the protocol, it's interesting. One thing that's been identified is that Bitcoin is perfect. Bitcoin is perfect for a store of value. XRP moving money, XLM for retail. Those are three. Then you've got Ethereum for smart contracts. Obviously, you have the Flare network that's still in test. They've got their Songbird, canary in the coal mine, so to speak, like 3 a.m. said. We've got that coming in to test and orchestrate everything they've been working on for the rollout of Flare network. Kind of lost my train of thought for a second. So, P. Wang was saying, why build a token on ETH? It's so expensive to move. And that's exactly true. And here you have BTC and ETH are old, TC, slow and expensive. Too slow. They're expensive to use, too slow. Hence, Bitcoin for a store of value. But when you're in the smart contract space, there's a lot that's orchestrated within the smart contract. Speed isn't always what's critical. What is critical is a solid, secure platform, even if it's more expensive. If you think about the smart contracts through a business contract or the logistics process or whatever it is, there really isn't anything else that's in place that can orchestrate the smart contracts at scale like Ethereum can. So on the lower scale, if we're thinking about retail, yes, if you're trying to move an asset, an ERC20 token or Ethereum, then obviously it's expensive to do that. If you move, take a step into big business, and a lot of this has been orchestrated. Again, look at the platform, look at the protocol, look at what it's made for. Again, Ethereum, that the concept of being able to build out all these other platforms, whether private or public, but then also utilizing the smart contract solution, which is really meant for, business. We're not going to use smart contract just for the, if I'm sending money to a friend of mine, I'm going to use Zelle, or eventually we're going to start using a platform that's built with XRP or XLM, something that's quick, something that has super low cost. If we're looking at cross-border payments, remittance payments in the millions and millions of dollars, the banks aren't necessarily going to use XLM, or are they? So there are some that were building on the using the XLM foundation, using the platform in order to orchestrate and build a private ledger. However, what we do know is that why not utilize something that already exists? Why not use the XRP ledger, or why not use the use RippleNet? If the banks and institutions are moving big amounts of money, they're going to orchestrate and use that solution. They're paying for RippleNet. That part's not free. So if you're moving millions, spending thousands, not such a big deal. If you're moving thousands, spending time and high cost is extremely punishing, which is what we see with like Western Union or some of these other typical modes of movement of money in small amounts, and you're penalized, you're punished for sending it. If you're spending 15, 16, 17%, in some cases 20 cents on the dollar to move money, that's crazy. So if you're sending 100 and they only get 70 to 80 because there's the transaction cost through the platform you use, and then there's whatever is on the other side. So if you're trying to send money to, let's say, Venezuela, or so you have money taken off the top. If you're sending money to somebody in Cuba, family in Cuba, then you have the transaction cost, and then you have the government transaction cost on the other side, because they're not just going to let it be received, they're going to siphon it off. And that's what happens. So now imagine you take all of that out and you take a step into this decentralization. So now all of a sudden you're able to move money cross border from an individual perspective that has almost no cost to it. And that is rewarding, it's exciting, it's a game changer. But what's interesting is that when Ripple had bought a percentage, when Ripple bought a percentage of MoneyGram, then we didn't really see the full utility of RippleNet. They used ODL. Well, I guess they had full utility, but it wasn't really meant for the retail consumer. So the ODL, the on-demand liquidity component of the RippleNet, was used by MoneyGram, but it was used in the foreign currency exchange component, which was important in the whole process. But that's what they were using it for. They're using it for the FX. So they weren't moving money for retail. Now, the business model of RippleNet wasn't meant to send $20, $100, or whatever it is. It's really geared up towards moving millions of dollars. Now, XLM and the XLM Foundation and Stellar or the Stellar Foundation, it makes more sense. I keep saying the XLM Stellar Foundation. So the Stellar Foundation, it makes sense for them now to move over and look for a mechanism to buy or partner with MoneyGram, because MoneyGram has the network in place, meaning the retail consumer base in place. People are using MoneyGram right now to move money. You bring in Stellar, you bring in XLM, you start using that technology. Now, all of a sudden, the transaction for MoneyGram is going to be almost instant, and it's going to be at a fraction of the cost. So all of these conversations, this whole process starts to make sense. And you look at it and you say, well, from Ripple's perspective and MoneyGram's perspective, it didn't really make as much sense to utilize the XRP ledger for these small numbers. The solution just isn't there yet. However, again, just to finalize, the Stellar Foundation utilizing XLM is that their whole platform is geared up towards those small dollar amounts to 10, 20, 100, 500, 1,000. That's what they were geared up towards. That's how they promoted right from the beginning. That was their objective. That was their global agenda, was to move money in small amounts for people in need, that people that need it to move in, quickly. So anyone know where to buy XDC? Actually, Bitrue has XDC. There's some certain assets that you can find on Bitrue, like that. The Ask token is over there. There's a number of others that you can get on Bitrue that are hard to find on other platforms. XDC is one of them. So there you go. Yeah, it also depends. Good point, P. Wong. Also depends what country you're in. So good point. Very good point. Hey, Raul, appreciate your commentary there. Amazing, guys. Love your program. Appreciate that. That's awesome. So XRP completely clean will be a behemoth in crypto, and that's Silence Be Golden. So All right, there was something else here. Let me see here. Here we go. Sooner in SWFL, believe that's Southwest Florida. When celebrities pump something, it is just like a crappy movie, in my humble opinion. They are receiving pay for it. How many rich people get rich by not benefiting themselves, asking for a friend? How that's a good point. You always have to be very cautious when you see a celebrity get up and start promoting something, because it's hard to determine whether or not that person is truly promoting it because they believe in it. And if they don't come out and say, hey, by the way, I'm getting paid to promote this, then you don't know. Are they doing it again because they want to, or are they doing it for other purpose? Look at like Elon Musk. He's playing a game. He keeps pumping the Dogecoin. He was pumping Bitcoin. Then he was against Bitcoin. Then he was against Dogecoin. Then he was pumping Dogecoin. He's basically manipulating the market and he's manipulating those that look up to this guy here. They're looking at Elon Musk. They're like, hey, this guy's a billionaire. He must know what he's talking about. But does he really? Is he doing it because he truly believes in it, because he wants to be outspoken about it? Or is he doing it just as a game? Does he think it's a joke as he plays around and says, today I'm going to pump it, tomorrow I'm going to be against it. And you see the market movement because of it. It doesn't move drastically. Like with Bitcoin, it's not reacting. You're not going to see massive reaction in Bitcoin to Elon Musk because he's just one little small fraction of everything happening in the Bitcoin space. And it's a lot bigger than he is. But with the Dogecoin and the passion that goes behind it, a lot of that investment in Doge is from an emotional perspective. And, so you really have to question. Now you look at Ashton Kutcher, and here's a guy that has been involved in the investment of fintech for a long time. Yeah, you can track it back and you can see the things that he's done and how he's talked about it. Has he gotten paid, when he was out promoting XRP? Did he get paid in XRP? Did he get, paid in whatever asset he goes out? I don't know. It's a possibility, but he still comes out and talks about the space and invests in the space. So I think that's key. He's investing in the space. So that's something to look at. Here we go. There were a couple. Hey, babe, why do we fight for climate change and net zero, but have one of the highest proof of work creators at our kitchen table? Because we receive free ETH. Was I supposed to say that? That's funny. That's hilarious. All right, let's see. Trying to go through here. Oh, here we go. Mark Quadrado, first episode that I can see here in Spain. The schedules are hard. Yeah, man, Mark, I'm glad that you're able to log in. We do every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So in afternoon, at least we get this one in. Normally we stream at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday through Thursday. So I get it. We have a lot of people in Europe that tune in, and they're up. It's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. By the time we're done, we have people over in the Middle East that it's so late over there while they're watching. I mean, it's amazing. Then obviously you go to the other side of the world in Asia, it's already the next morning. So they're watching at like 8 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, maybe a little bit earlier. I know you get over to India. India is like 10 and a half hours ahead of us over here. So I appreciate that support, Sooner. Really appreciate that. So let's see. All right, let's keep going down here. I love the commentary. We could do, Chip and I were saying we could do an entire show just on the comments as the comments are coming in or reflecting back. Like I pulled some of the comments up from the video on Thursday night, and it's great. You guys are awesome. So, all right, let's see. See that Saturday AM is by far the best show. See that, Chip? By far the best on Saturdays. All right, so let's go. Let's go. I realized I don't have any of the things. I was really focused on that. All right, let's open this one and let's move into some interesting conversation. Especially now, we started talking about XLM and XRP. So let's move over to the XLM and see what we've got here. So I find it's interesting. We see that with Flare Network, we're seeing the build out of this smart contract environment using the XRP and using some of the other assets. Definitely going to be interesting and impactful. A lot of the other things that they're doing. But here, check this out. So you have Stellar DeFi smart contracts. Now, I look at this, I'm like, man, this is kind of interesting. Project Venus is working on empowering DApps on Stellar XLM with an entirely novel type of smart contracts. Now, the whole idea of the smart contracts to me is so critical in this space. It is going to really orchestrate and change the way business is done, because one problem within business obviously is movement of money. The other problem within business are all those internal transactions that could really be triggered transactions. So if you order something, that's great. Send me a deposit. When you send me the deposit, I'll place the order for your product. Once I place the order for your product, now it's in process with the manufacturer. Now the manufacturer is building it. They need to get a deposit from the dealer. So in the smart contract, buyer sends their deposit to the dealer, which automatically through the smart contract can pay that same deposit to the manufacturer. One payment goes right to the manufacturer, but it hits all the right points. So the smart contract becomes critical in the whole conversation of business, the simplification of business. This is really revolution. We saw that the crypto space is revolutionizing the way money moves. It's digitizing money. It's decentralizing money. But that decentralization, again, through the smart contracts, is so critical. So now buyer sends their deposit, boom, boom. It triggers a response to the dealer to then automatically in the smart contract place the order to the manufacturer with the deposit. One transaction, two events. Then the manufacturer starts their process. They ship it. And within the smart contract, once that shipment is triggered, it gets shipped either to the dealer or directly to the customer. But once it's shipped, if there's another line item in that smart contract that states that payment in full has to be received, so as soon as the shipment is triggered, then automatically the payment from the buyer gets triggered, sent to the dealer, and then sent to the manufacturer if that's stipulated like that. Now it's in shipment. It's going to logistics. Now that it's within the contract of logistics, there's certain things that need to happen that are now all tracked within the same smart contract, all the way to receipt of product. And it's all triggered automatically. So think about how that changes business, takes all the individual person related problems and errors out of the conversation. It changes everything. This is why Ethereum is so instrumental and so critical in this space right now, because even though we have a project like this, we have Flare Network still not active. It could still be a couple months until it comes online, and then months or years until it starts getting implemented into solutions that roll out to big business. But Ethereum is already there and orchestrated and looking for enterprise level solutions that can then build on Ethereum to start utilizing their smart contract solutions. So we have the financial institution and banks that will rely on solutions like RippleNet that change the rules of the game, because Swift was never a settlement platform. It was only a communication platform. Ripple comes along and says, hey, we finally have technology to where we can build in the messaging, the communication, the foreign currency exchange, the full exchange, settlement, everything Everything can be built into one platform. So now we don't have to use a third party for a settlement. Now banks don't have to have their Nostro Vostro accounts sitting over in another bank in another part of the world with millions of dollars in there waiting for transactions to occur. Now they can put it all through RippleNet with this on-demand liquidity, and Ripple, through their technology, through their solution, can utilize the XRP and the XRP ledger to fulfill a liquidity need in order to move millions of dollars all over the world. So you start looking at this and you're like, wow, this isn't, it's about, yes, from an investor's perspective, we're looking at this technology and saying, holy crap, this is amazing. You're kind of on the ground floor of this speculative new class that's kind of being built out and orchestrated. Early years, because in the 90s, you go to the 80s, who knew? Was it going to be, was the PC going to be a Microsoft PC? Was it going to be Apple? Who was going to win? Was it going to be mainframe the way it was going to be in the beginning? What was going to come out of it? And nobody knew through the 80s. Then you get into the 90s, the high-tech boom, internet, all of this. And, pet.com is a perfect example, because pet.com disappeared, right? Just gone. So Chip and Jeff, Nostro the Mostro. There we go. So it's great. So from our perspective as an investor, we're looking at this saying, which asset class or which cryptocurrency has this potential to grow and build and see, some crazy numbers. We see Bitcoin has seen some crazy numbers. First mover advantage, has the identification on a global scale, has really the most behind it at this point, and it's identified as a store of value. Therefore, people around the world that are fleeing massive inflationary currencies have been moving into Bitcoin and potentially other digital asset. But outside of our little bubble of knowledge, when you get into the mainstream world, they don't know about XLM. They don't know Stellar. They don't know XRP. They don't know what Ripple is. They don't know what Polkadot is. They don't know about any of these other assets. What they know is Bitcoin, and they might have heard of Ethereum. Mainly, and maybe some are starting to hear about XRP, but probably not. Bitcoin, if you're talking to somebody, hey, cryptocurrency, digital assets, and you get this like deer trapped in the headlights look, when you're talking about it, say, yeah, cryptocurrency. And they're like, oh, you mean like Bitcoin? And you're like, yes, exactly, like Bitcoin. So that's what they know. This is how they're identifying. That doesn't mean that Bitcoin is the maximalist end all be all. That just first mover advantage, what people reference it as. At some point, who knows? Maybe all cryptocurrency, when you talk about it's like tissue, it's like tissue or Kleenex. You're going to talk about cryptocurrency. You're going to call it Bitcoin. Hey, send me some Bitcoin. What do you want? Hey, send me some XRP. It's not going to be Bitcoin. It's like, hey, send me $100 in Bitcoin. You mean BTC? Yeah, BTC. Oh, you mean XRP? Yeah, send me XRP. As they start shedding the cryptocurrency, I'm just thinking outside the box, but I think this is how it kind of transacts. It's like strange things, but you go to North Carolina, and in North Carolina, if you order a soda, if you're in Michigan, you order a pop. If you're in another part of the country, it's a soda pop. But if you go to North Carolina and you ask for soda, they're like, you're supposed to ask for Coke. Hey, can I get a Coke? What kind do you want? So it's like, what do you mean, what kind of Coke? There's one kind of Coke if you're ordering Coke, but for them, Coke is synonymous with Sprite, Pepsi, root beer, Dr. Whatever you're ordering, they reference it as Coke. You go to the Northeast and down in the Southeast in Florida, it's soda. If you say pop to someone, they're like, well, what are you talking about? I don't even know what that means. But soda is pretty universal in the US. They understand what it means. Similar to like Bitcoin. So I'm kind of getting off topic here a little bit. But let's go back to the smart contract idea and how critical smart contracts are to big business. We just got a little glimpse of it. So now the only real solution that's available is Ethereum. But all these other companies are realizing that, you know what? Smart contracts are going to be instrumental in everything that gets done. So, so we're looking at this and you see, so Stellar is trying to bring a brand new type of smart contract. So here it says their engineers proposed an entirely new method. It's based on Turing signing servers, empowers decentralized finances on Stellar with advanced performance. This might get a little bit, too much. I don't want to get into the technology of it, but let's see. Developers can upload smart contracts to a turret. This turret will then be able to create a key pair valid for signing transactions with a smart contract. Then the transaction is signed by other turrets in order for the blockchain to deem it valid. Finally, users can run smart contracts across all turrets until the transaction is sufficiently signed. Project Venus is focused on building a secure and reliable network of servers, on implementing short-term forward contract capabilities to Stellar XLM. Then they say, why is it better than Ethereum? Kind of gets into the differences of the technology. But overall, what we're seeing, again, Flare Network, smart contracts. Ethereum, smart contracts. XLM, smart contracts. What's unique about this is that there's a smart contract within everything that we do, whether it's from the banking perspective or business or retail transaction. Because if you go buy a car or a house, there's a contract involved. There's things that need to happen, things that need to be orchestrated from retail customer to seller. Then you add the business aspect, the enterprise level smart contract, which is from, if you're buying a car, from that automotive dealer to his manufacturer, to his wholesaler. If he's buying parts, it's a wholesale. If it's the car, it's to the manufacturer. So all the smart contract is going to do away with a lot of the other things that are going on in the process, especially the movement of money, especially the sign off on a contract. Now, think about the smart contract also from a trust perspective. So if you've ever done business on a global scale, it could be even domestic, it doesn't matter. So if it's done domestically, there's always a trust issue within business, right? I'm buying XYZ from you. You're requiring me to send you money before I get my product. Now, if you're on Amazon and you pay with your credit card, then you know that if they don't send you the product or it's bad, they're going to refund it. Or you call your credit card company and say, hey, refund my money. In business, they're going to say, I'm not taking a credit card. You have to send me a bank wire. So if you're going to send me a bank wire, we're not talking about $100 or $1,000, typically tens of thousands of dollars or more. So I need something in this process to establish a little bit of trust on a domestic level. Not as difficult because the legal system will accommodate you if there's something, you'll be out some money, but you have the legal scenario. You start going to a global level of business transaction. And on that global level of business transaction, you start having an issue on a global level, mainly because of the trust. So how do you start moving money from point A to point B? If you're doing business from the US to India, as an example, there has to be a layer of trust that can then be built in, typically through what's called a letter of credit. So the letter of credit is orchestrated with all these different variables built into it in this letter of credit, from what kind of freight, how you're packaging it, what kind of container ship it's being shipped on, how deposits are held and received, when the money is moved. There's all these different variables that have to take place that are written into a letter of credit that many times are handled manually. So now imagine you go from the manual transaction to a smart contract where it's all automated. I mean, it changes everything. So, that's one major reason why everything is kind of moving in the smart contract direction. So hang on a second. Look at this. I did not know this. Ani Burrito says, believe it or not, my first crypto asset was XRP Purchased 1 week before the flare snapshot. Thanks to my ex-husband for having my back. Wow, that's really that's amazing, Ani. That's great. So December. So we have so many new people that are coming into the crypto space, and they have their exposure to whatever the asset is. In this case, in the first crypto XRP, and got to take advantage of even being there with the snapshot. So that's outstanding. That's really, really cool. All right, let's see what we got here. So I'm going through, we got so much commentary in here. I think there was a, I might have missed it. There it is. So Sooner, I don't remember if I give you a shout. Thank you for that. But I do want to give you a quick shout out for that one that came through earlier on, going through tons and tons of comments. It's just like, let's see. So the lawyer will have to know how to code, or will the GUI for this? So exactly, Hans. So that's a great point. Does the business have to then orchestrate the smart contracts through coding? This is where we're not even at that level yet, to where the solutions have to be easy to use. It has to be simple. You have to be able to go in, plug in your criteria, and that's it. You shouldn't have to orchestrate any kind of programming. All of these groups, like I've got this other monitor here, like the Stellar smart contract or the Ethereum or the Flare now, they have to orchestrate it in such a way that it is simplified for the user. That's it. So I just have a big alert on your channel, and I live in Cuba. So imagine how difficult it is for me. By the way, 50% of my portfolio stays in ISO 20020. Good one. Ro, appreciate that. That's awesome. So all of a sudden out of the blue, my allergies just kicked in. So it's kind of crazy. All right. Let's see here. Be free. Yes, but just a question. Is it not so that Ethereum is far further in tech than XRP or XLM and more adoption? Yes, I agree. I agree 100%. Ethereum is so much further ahead than where XRP or XLM are. XRP isn't focused on the smart contracts. XLM and the Stellar Foundation have not been focused on the smart contract aspect. Their focus is on the movement of money. So now it's going to take others to come in and build, utilizing the technology in order to truly benefit from the platform. Now you look at the XRP ledger, all this amazing banking technology, but it takes a Flare network to come in and say, hey, this is great, but we're going to build out a smart contract that uses XRP, Ethereum. It becomes agnostic, allows interoperability between two platforms. So you might have some that are building strictly on Ethereum, some that are wanting to use the XRP ledger, but now with the Flare network, at least that's how they've been promoting it. We haven't seen it live yet. Hopefully there'll be some opportunity to start utilizing the Flare network when they launch the Songbird. That's what I was trying to think, the Songbird. So Ani says it's Ani, no accent at the end. Oh, so not, I got it. Ani, I think I got it. So, all right, let's see what we got here. Do not get me wrong. I have a lot of XRP, but now I'm thinking of adding ETH because of adoption. I don't know. You gotta make that determination. It's really based on what your risk tolerance is. So if your risk tolerance is higher, I mean, you figure out where you want to invest. I like being diversified across the board because I look at Ethereum and I do believe that Ethereum is progressing. I believe that Ethereum is much further ahead. Regardless of the gas costs and all of that, I think they're going to figure that part out. As utility increases, they have to figure it out. But again, on a corporate enterprise level, costs are important, but they're not overly critical. So I don't know, something just came through here, and it's the craziest thing ever. I have no idea what it is. I don't know if like some floral something all of a sudden out of nowhere. Crazy. Let's see here. Rob Cash, what is up, Rob Cash? Holy cow, we haven't seen you in a long time. Rob Cash, one of the OGs. So I think XLM are looking to be centralized solution for institutions, and XRP is going to be the decentralized and inclusive solution for payments. That's interesting too. You know, interesting perspective, but awesome to see you on, Rob. That's man, it's so great to see you. On set. That's right, David D. Rob Cash on the set, on the OTC set. Ooh. So let's see. 179 Keck. How many cryptos do you hold? You know, it's like stock. You know, it's like I try to stay diversified without overextending, so you can at least be you can track. You know, you have your primary portfolio, your top 5, top 10, and whatever you feel you can manage, and then maybe some play assets. You know, if you want to get into some of the the doges and things like that you believe could potentially blow up one day or go down one day, who knows? I try to stay very focused on platforms that I believe are building in the space and growing in the space. I think is the most important. You know, so let's see, Mr. B, what is up, man? We're bringing all the OGs in here. Mr. B, great to see you on here. Hope we hear from lawmakers this week on digital assets. I think we need to have definitely some feedback from that space, from the lawmakers and all of that. But I did want to bring something else up. I'm glad you brought that, kind of move in that direction. There are a couple of things. I think we're going to probably talk a little bit about this tomorrow, but I did want to bring this one up because we referenced it and I just wanted to highlight it. But you have more and more U.S. politicians that are embracing not just Bitcoin, but digital asset. They're trying to get a better understanding, and in this case, Bitcoin. So here you have the Texas governor listening to an explanation on Bitcoin mining. Why? Because many of the miners that are going to be leaving places like China want to come to areas where energy is cost efficient. So they want Texas. Oh, you guys didn't even see it. I didn't even share it. I'm over here zooming and talking, and there's the Texas governor, Greg Abbott, listening to an explanation on Bitcoin mining. So there you have it. There you have it. All right, let's see what else. Oh, here's another one. So one of the things that I was also looking at, and this is in reference to Coinbase. Hang on a second. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can share this one. So, so it's interesting because Coinbase and top execs are facing securities class action over their NASDAQ listing. Holy cow, this is crushing me. I don't know what, something came in here. I don't know what the heck it is. Holy cow. It's just crushing me right now, out of nowhere. Let's see. Alongside Coinbase itself, the class action named CEO Brian Armstrong, CLO Paul Grewal, other top executives and several of its venture capital backers as defendants. So it looks like, I mean, this is so crazy. So look at this. Their security. Let's see what it's. Okay, it was filed by Scott and Scott. So it's a lawsuit in Northern California on behalf of a shareholder, Donald Ramsey, as a plaintiff, both individually on behalf of other investors similarly situated. So he's filing claims based on the Securities Act. And it's presented evidence drawn from Coinbase's regulatory filings with U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Let's see. It's going after the CEO. He's accusing Coinbase and its executives of making materially misleading statements in their offering materials at the same time of public listing and offering positive statements that lacked reasonable basis. So there's all what was leading up to their direct listing of their stock. And so, I look at this and I'm like, you know what? All this talk about requiring a specific regulation for cryptocurrency, you start realizing that there's laws on the books that prevent these companies from taking advantage of individual investors, whether those individual investors filing the lawsuit are accurate or they're not. What's going to end up happening is that the balance between those that are filing suit, it's going to go to court. The court is then going to have to make a determination as to whether or not the lawsuit is accurate. But the one thing that we're seeing is that, you have this overzealousness from government bodies to create new laws and new regulations for cryptocurrency when there's a lot of laws on the books that are already applicable. So this lawsuit against Coinbase is a perfect example. The lawsuit against Ripple is another perfect example. The SEC can bring a lawsuit making whatever statement and claims they want to make. The problem with all of this is that there is no real, we want clarity. We want rules of the road, rules of engagement. We need Congress to come out, just like the Token Taxonomy Act had stipulated, that they're going to tweak the Securities Act of 1933 and the Securities Exchange Act of 1934 to include certain verbiage for the digital asset space. They want to tweak some of the verbiage on taxation, so there's a better understanding of the rules of the road. We don't need the more and more piling on of regulations to stifle innovation or to limit access by retail investors to this new asset class. Right? We don't want to slow down innovation. Mama Lacey is saying, many of these regulations will slow down innovation to the point where it could potentially even crush innovation. And that's exactly what we don't want. We don't want to crush innovation. And so then you have like Amazon getting ready to accept crypto payments, Amazon getting into even launching the potential of an Amazon coin. You have Visa and MasterCard that are both rushing in to the crypto digital payment infrastructure, which is amazing, right? All these amazing things that are happening at the same time, whereas you have those powers that be, whether at the SEC level or the Treasury Secretary or Elizabeth Warren, or on and on and on, that are looking to potentially stifle this new asset class? Or are they looking for a way that government will get more and limit retail access? It becomes really, it's crazy. I mean, there's a whole topic to get into and discuss and dissect even further. But the one thing that we realize from a corporate perspective, all the laws are on the books. Therefore, again, this is how they're filing a lawsuit again. They're saying, hey, Coinbase, they didn't do it the right way. In this case, Coinbase, they actually have actual shares of stock, so it's a little bit different. They weren't trying to drop a coin token. They dropped the coin stock, and they had early investors. But that same conversation translates over to Ripple. And the conversation with Ripple is, when they sold XRP, were they selling it as an unregistered security or not? If there was a little bit of clarity on the space, we wouldn't even have that conversation right now. But we don't want a whole new series of regulation that's going to stifle it. So that's it. Anyhow, I got to bail on this. This is I'm struggling here. And I want you guys to struggle to listen, but appreciate everyone being on here with me. You guys are outstanding. You guys are absolutely outstanding. Coming in afternoon, morning, early morning, late night, always to be here with Chip and I on the chain. You guys are really, really cool. If you're brand new here, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, hit the bell notifier. That way you get notified every time we do go live. And we do stream live 6 days a week, Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. With that, looking forward to seeing you guys on tomorrow night. Chip, I got no ears, so I can't hear you, and I've got to on this.
I'll take it over from here.
What's that?
I said I'll take it over from here.
We got 1 minute.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, I'll sit here while you wrap it up in the last minute.
Yeah, I just wanted to come on here really quick because you were having that pollen attack.
Oh, yeah.
And then everyone's like, get on there, Chip. What are you doing? Get on there. I was like, dude, I'm laying poolside with the dog hanging out, having a little espresso. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And no, I was just going to say, I wanted to comment on that Coinbase lawsuit. First of all, completely misplaced. Why? Because it's an investor going after that. And the object of that is going to be to just go ahead and settle out of court. It's what's going to happen. If you want some real action, you get a regulator. And it's like, it's such a weak lawsuit. They misplaced this. Now, you don't think the SEC goes through all of that public documentation?
Ahead of time. Oh, yeah.
They go through everything. It's like, and so in that lawsuit, I went through and they said like, well, no, they misled the regulators. And when you file with the SEC, you have to have your house in order. And it's like, it's just a weak sort of like, I don't know. That's
yeah,
my 2 cents. I was going to come in a little earlier, but hey, I don't know if you shouted out the merch store. Did you shout that out yet?
Oh, you know what? I meant to do that at the 30-minute mark, and I totally forgot to do that. But hey, if you guys want some awesome OTC merch like this one right here, XRP, can't be 100% sure, but I think it's magic. Where do we got to go?
On the chain.shop.
On the chain.shop.
That's
how awesome. Check it out. Chip, the closer.
The closer comes in there and he closes. See? Yeah, I'm like this. Yeah. See, that's what happens. He comes in and closes. Where are you headed, Jeff? You headed out to tennis?
Yeah, we got to head out to tennis right now, and it'll be a good day.
Hey, Rob Cash. I wanted to shout out Rob Cash too. Rob Cash is in here, and of course, let me hang on. I gotta see if I got to practice. Ani. Did I say it right? Ani.
Ani.
Ani. So now we're gonna go. It's Ani. Ani. Ani.
Ani.
It's just Ani.
Ani.
There it is. We're gonna we're gonna work that until we can get that right. There you go. And then there's Shiny Robot, Chip Mister, or whatever. Howdy, Chippy. Yeah, this is when I usually sit here and I usually hang in the background while Jeff goes on his rant and I laugh and I chat with everybody because it's fun to engage in the chat because that's another whole fun thing. But my dog was acting up. He was running around the pool and do his thing, and that's about it. David D. So that's it, man. I don't want to. What's up? Hey, Rob Cash.
We gotta get Rob Cash on.
That's what I just said. I asked him in the chat. Look, we got another OG coming on Monday. We have none other than Sam I Am is going to be here on Monday night, and we are going to dig into
Sam I Am Monday. That's right.
Yeah, we got Sam. I'd love to have Rob Cash on Tuesday or Wednesday. What say you, Rob Cash? We need Rob Cash back on the OTC set is what we need, man. What do you think about that, Rob Cash? And then we've extended an invitation to Mr. B as well. But Mr. B's, he's got all his business. He's busy. He's doing his stuff. I don't know what he's doing, but he's got some stuff. And then look, we're working on another guest too. And it's a guest that you guys have requested here in the chat often during the week. You guys say, hey, you need to get blah, blah, blah. We're not going to say it because you don't want to jinx it. Wednesday's good. Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Does that work?
Yeah,
we got to get him. Because you know what? Preseason for the Steelers is coming up, and we're going to lose Rob Cash for the entire season. He's not going to be available, and we're not going to be able to do anything. So we got to get Rob Cash on there. All right, Wednesday's good, Rob. I'll reach out. Does 8 p.m. work for you, man? 8 p.m. at 8 to 9. We'll get you on, man. Right. It's going to be a fun romping. We're going to get into it. It'll be OG week.
That's
Chips
right.
on the morning show. I jumped in. Jeff.
What sorcery is this?
It's some mad sorcery. Yeah. Well, I was in the backyard. Chilling poolside, and then someone said, I think it was David D's, like someone said you got to get in there, and you know what Ani said? Ani said
over here.
Ani said it was She's
I almost
blaming
had
it
to
on
end
the,
it.
she's blaming it on the lemon tree.
Yeah, it's the lemon tree. The
I
lemon
knew
tree
some
is
pollinating or something like
spawning
that.
new pollen and fruit.
Yeah, so there's something going on with that lemon tree. Who knows what's going on, man? But
Yeah.
anyway, jump in here. I know you got to get
Great.
going, Jeff. I want to make you late for tennis. Let's just keep talking. Let's do another hour. Blow off
Yeah.
tennis. What do you say?
All right. Yeah, I'll let it go.
Let it go. Jeff's getting mad.
Let
He's
it
getting
run.
mad. He's getting mad. That's why I say to my dog, I'm like, you're gonna be mad because if I start
You're gonna be
streaming and I
Yep.
close the studio door, you know what he does? Bangs his head on. He wants in. He's like, I'm like, dude,
Oh,
we're
it's
doing a
funny.
show. I told you we're gonna be mad. You trying to come in here now. It's like so.
For
Anyway,
sure.
guys, let's
Yeah,
close
glad
this
you
puppy
came
up.
in here. That was
Yeah,
awesome,
well,
man.
should have come in earlier because you were like struggling, but it was an awesome show as usual, man. And you know, I
Yep.
always want to comment on stuff, and it's like just good listening. I like hearing everybody what they're talking
Yeah.
about there.
That's right.
So.
See that? Chips espresso is kicking in.
Oh,
so
hell
now
yeah, it is. Hell yeah. You know, today I had some pilon, a little pilon, but I
Uh,
did get the Lavazza with that Ani recommended. I went through a bag of that. That was good too.
Yep.
I like it all, I'll be honest with you. It's all
It's
good.
all good. All right, man. I gotta get out of here. We're leaving here in like 5 minutes. So
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
All right, Rob Cash
You're
on
here.
Wednesday night. You heard it here. Rob Cash Wednesday at 8. We're gonna have Sam I Am on Monday at 8, and then let's see if we can fill Tuesday and Thursday with some OGs. See if we
Yep,
can get that'll be
exactly.
OG week on the
OG
chain.
week. It's gonna be
Too
awesome.
many
man.
acronyms.
So,
OG on the chain.
OG on the chain. We'll be back here Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you guys then. Looking forward to it. And we are out.
Out of here.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.